It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. You're checking out the RCWR Show for this Wednesday night of March 13th, 2024. Few minutes removed from an all-new AEW Dynamite. It was their Big Business edition. Sound off, let me know what you thought about the episode. I do have a poll up on X and on the YouTube community section asking you all, what did you think about the show? We'll jump on in a little bit later on in the show, see how you all are voting. But we heard the rumblings for the past couple of weeks about Mercedes Mone. Would she or wouldn't she make her debut at Big Business tonight at Boston? Well, we didn't have to wait that long, as opening up the show, we got our answer. And indeed, she did make her debut. She is officially now All Elite Wrestling, Mercedes Mone. By the way, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if everything is syncing up just fine as far as the visual goes and the audio goes. Because the weirdest thing, I opened up OBS and for some weird reason, I'm getting this weird message saying I need to update my cards. And I'm always on top of that. I'm always updating the cards. And for some weird reason, I got this message. I looked to see if there was an update. No update. So I don't know what the hell is going on. Weird bug though. But hopefully everything is nice and on point. Let me know if it's not, and I'll definitely do a little bit of tweaking in the background, see if we can kind of resolve it a little bit. But yeah, you know, I gotta give Tony Khan a lot of credit because he did not try to tease the fans. He did not try to, no. You gotta wait. If you want to know if she's making her debut here tonight on this show, you're going to have to wait just like everybody else. But look, it's worth the wait. I promise you, no, just out of the gate, soon as the show comes on, you just bring her out. I like that because that creates so much buzz, so much excitement. And then I got to give a shout out to Dan Goes to the Mayor because he made an interesting point, which was, look, they're trying to make sure they capitalize on that carryover audience from the Big Bang Theory. Anybody that's paying attention to the ratings, you know, despite the fact that Big Bang Theory is now in syndication, series is over, it's on reruns now, those reruns on TBS brings in a I was about to, right? But I'm gonna bleep myself, but it brings in a ton of audience. You want to have a nice carryover going into your AEW programming. And typically, if you notice the pattern, if it's not a Big Bang Theory show, usually AEW programming is following up after some superhero blockbuster movie, typically. So the fact that they had Mercedes Mone be the very first thing you see to open up Dynamite tonight, again, to Dan's point, yeah, and I would imagine that when you look at that first quarter segment, particularly you look at those first 15 minutes, that did not include any commercial breaks, and it's all Mercedes Mone, that's going to be some damn good bragging rights without a shadow of doubt for Tony Khan and crew. Oh, look, we had over 1 million plus people that had checked out the debut of Mercedes Mone, and I can only imagine how that's going to do once they re-upload it to their social media platforms, just the total combined number of views that's going to gain, the impressions, the clicks, all of that, right? Got to give Tony Khan and crew props also from this standpoint, which is the music that they used for Mercedes Mone. A really nice touch. I got to admit, it's catchy like I don't know what. Going with the whole CEO. I think that's catchy as I don't know what. I don't know what else is being said in the song. I actually have to listen to the song itself. I should have tried to see if the single was available on Spotify or anywhere else, but I would imagine if it's not right now, give it about less than 72 hours, and AEW is definitely going to make that be available wherever you find good music and everything. But love the touch of the music that they put in there. That was good stuff. They did everything on point with the overall presentation for Mercedes Mone. I did not notice until she was cutting her promo and everything, which is the fact that it's been a little bit over 2 years since Mercedes Mone has been on our television sets on a weekly basis. I mean, really stop and think about that for a second. 2 years. And in today's modern era that is professional wrestling, 2 years can be a long time. It can be a long time. 2 years, it's essentially the equivalent of 5 years. And it's one of those things where you go, okay, well, will the fans still remember this person? Will they still be in their corner? Are they still a big fan of their work, or has so much time now passed that the fans have moved on elsewhere and everything, right? Like, it's like, yeah, we're happy to see you. Glad that you're back and everything, but we've kind of moved on to the next big thing that's happening and everything. But she got a great ovation from that Boston crowd. I'm not going to even jump out there and be like Boston or hometown crowd, because that would piss off a couple of you guys that are from the Boston area. I'm looking at you, Joe Numbers. I know Joe Numbers. He is very quick to point out she ain't a real Bostonian. No, she's not a real Bostonian. She was only out there for a quick cup of coffee. Man, Boston ain't really home. Get that noise out of here. So I'm going to give that respect. Look, we can all just be in agreement. She was in Boston for tonight. All right, we can have it at that. Nice attendance for this show, too, by the way, as I was checking out the WrestleTix information while Dynamite was on. And WrestleTix had said that at least there was over 9,400 seats, tickets that were dispersed and all that. So, I mean, that's good. You were able to get 9,400 plus. I know some people were saying, man, it sucks that AEW, even with the rumors of Mercedes Mone potentially making her debut and everything, that when it's all said and done, they couldn't get a sold-out show. And you know what? You take in the bitter with the sweet. I've been on top of how this particular venue was doing, seeing how many tickets were available. I know they had opened up a couple of new sections leading all the way up into tonight. I am also aware that there were some nice package deals that was going on as well. Last I had saw, I want to say maybe they were about 150 tickets shy of saying, hey, we sold out. All the tickets that were available were sold out on them. That's it. So, I mean, the fact that you had under 200 seats available for tonight's Big Business show, I say that's pretty good considering. That's pretty good when it's all said and done. So overall, really nice presentation that they did. But yeah, I can't believe it's been 2 years already. My God, how time just freaking flies when it's all said and done. That is just insane. So yeah, we opened up with Mercedes Mone soaking in all of that great energy from the crowd. I like that where you have the CEO chants of the song coming in, the crowd just goes right on in there. All right, right on in there. And by the way, this was at the TD Garden, for those of you that are curious. I know that when you hear the information I just gave you for how this AEW show did, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, but look at WWE. And look, for AEW standards and what they were able to do at the TD Garden, when it's all said and done, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Great chants from the crowd, welcoming her home and everything. And, the thing that I liked about her promo, I'm not going to go in very specific detail because when it's all said and done, you guys can easily just go out of your way, see what she said, hear her in her own words when the clips become available in its entirety on YouTube and all that. But what I like the most about her promo tonight in front of the crowd, it came off believable. Now, what do I mean by that when I say her promo came off believable? Well, it came off like it was from the heart. Everything that she was saying to the crowd, letting them know how much she missed them and how this was home for her. Now, I know some people probably misinterpreted that as, okay, AEW, she's home. But no, essentially the wrestling ring, it is her home, right? And that she cares about the fans. And, if anything, I remember I was chuckling to myself and I was thinking out loud, we're probably going to have ourselves a moment. She's probably going to cry. She's going to cry. She's going to tear up. She's going to tear up. Watch out now. She's going to cry any second now. But she was able to hold it all together and she was able to just, get right through with what she had to say and everything. And she thanked the crowd for sticking by her all this time through the highs, through the lows. They were with her through some very important milestones, from at one point having a main event match in that very arena, as a matter of fact. So some history being made at that arena prior to tonight and everything, to all the championships that she won and everything. And she told them that they can trust her, that they'll be making even more awesome moments together. And everything just came straight from the heart. As she also talked about how wrestling has changed and saved her life at the same time. So it felt like a very sincere, straight from the heart. I love the promo for what it was worth. Now, some people, and granted, they will question the validity of the promo and all of that, because we've seen our fair share of some really bad stuff online with Mercedes Mone at little conventions, and people are just asking her basic questions and everything, and she's pretty much just taking a massive dump on them, and right. But this seems like a more mature, a more humbled Mercedes Mone, so to speak. I mean, you're hearing all the right things and it's coming off very believable. But of course, action speaks louder than words, right? So we'll see how everything pans out in the weeks and months to come and everything. But this was good. I loved it for what it was worth. Nobody jumped out there and got physical with her. This was pretty much all Mercedes Mone. This was her time and everything. And she talks about how she's been watching the product and been paying attention to who's who in the locker room and everything, and how she cannot wait to mix it up with all the great talent. She put the spotlight in that same promo on Rio versus Willow Nightingale, which was tonight's AEW main event. We will segue into that in just a hot little bit because I have a lot to say in regards to that. But she ended it for the night saying, hey, for now, Mercedes Mone is all elite. And that pretty much was it. So, nice, good opener there. I would have to say when it was all said and done, I was paying attention to all the interactions that was coming in throughout social media. I was hanging out with a few people in the Discord, seeing what everybody was saying. And collectively, we all were like, okay, well, this was a pretty nice little opener. This was good and everything. Of course, at the same time, a lot of us were also going, wow, okay, so we just blew the load right here, right now, in this moment. So how are we going to top this? Because this is your main meat and potatoes right here. We got like 90 plus minutes to go. So what are we going to do here? How are we going to make up for this? Well, you had one great strong opener and you go right into a strong opening match of the night, which was Samoa Joe defending the AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Wardlow. That's how you go right into it, right? So, I mean, you're hearing this, and of course, you're keeping in the back of your mind the main event match is Willow Nightingale versus Rio. Now, I know some of you guys out there that were probably maybe watching the show or hearing about stuff on your social media feeds, you're going, okay, that's just maybe one of the matches that's going to be main eventing tonight's show. That's not the main event. No. That was actually the main event when it was all said and done. Again, I have a lot to say in regards to that. A lot of stuff to say in regards to that. But Samoa Joe defending the championship against Wardlow. That was our first match of the night. Samoa Joe successfully defending the championship. Winner via submission. Good stuff. If anything had really surprised me about this match, and I wonder if it has surprised a lot of you all as well, sound off, let me know. Whether you're joining live or you'll be checking this out for on demand and on the download, sound off, let me know. But I think what was most surprising about this match is the fact that Wardlow lost surprisingly cleanly in the middle of this match. That's what was really just very perplexing to me because, it's this case where, all right, we're trying to do our best to build up Wardlow. We, as fans of Wardlow, we have seen the breathe and stop, right? We've seen the false starts, right? Start, stop, start, stop, stop, start. We've seen those with Wardlow. And foolish hearts on our part for thinking that maybe this go round things really would be different. It would turn a corner for the better with Wardlow. But Wardlow, a clean finish, losing in the middle of the ring, you just would have thought for sure that the Undisputed Kingdom would have gotten involved. There would have been some form of interference on their part, particularly on Adam Cole, and basically their way, when it's all said and done, of protecting Wardlow and spinning the narrative that, oh, you know what, wouldn't be surprised if the Undisputed Kingdom never really gave a damn about this title shot opportunity that Wardlow has. If anything, maybe this was all about just sticking it to the AEW World Heavyweight Champion and Samoa Joe, and truly for them backing up the words that they had said to Samoa Joe some weeks back, which is, you're only the AEW World Heavyweight Champion because the Undisputed Kingdom allowed for it to go down, right? You would have thought that at least that's how things would have played out with this match and everything, but that was not the case at all. Not even an appearance by Undisputed Kingdom members, just Wardlow losing cleanly in the middle of the ring. Very surprising, very perplexing, because now you're looking at this and you're going, man, so where exactly does Wardlow go from here? because, we've seen so many false starts with this guy. We've seen this man be repackaged a couple of times, be paired up with different people here and there, and now we just pretty much, now, where do we go with this guy? I'm curious to see, but it's really gotten to the point now where you just go, well, hopefully this man's contract is about to end, because it really just comes off like the powers that be aren't really sure what the hell to do with the big man. So you're looking at that, he's like, well, maybe a fresh start somewhere else is maybe on the cards for the big guy. Who knows? But the match itself was definitely fun. I like the fact that at least Wardlow looked pretty dominating in the first half of this match. I mean, he got off a lot of offense in there. Post-match, Swerve Strickland coming out. Security tries to restrain him. He makes quick work out of them. Turns out he had a steel chain wrapped around his hand, and he was just going to town on security detail with it. Was about to get his hands on Samoa Joe, but Joe smirking, quickly making his exit, heading up the ramp. So, hey, look, at least we're still continuing that feud between those two guys and everything, right? So, I mean, that's good stuff right there. Some other action that went down on the card for tonight. The Elites, Young Bucks, and Okada taking on Eddie Kingston, Penta, El Zero Miedo, and Pac. Rainmaker and the Bucks, a.k.a. Elite, picking up the win. Fun, 6-man tag match. Kind of had a nice indie vibe meets New Japan vibe, quite honestly. I'm really enjoying this new Elite stable that's going on and everything. Okada particularly. Now, see, I haven't had a chance to talk about Okada officially joining AEW and being paired up with the Bucks and everything. I've been a fan of Okada for a handful of years now, and honestly, it's a nice touch. I'm glad that they did not bring in Okada as a babyface, because that just would have been just played out. I personally feel. Could you have picked up a little bit of buzz with Okada as a babyface? You might have been able to do a little something. You might have been able to. But if we're talking short-term wise, especially for it to have that more meaningful of an impact of his tenure in AEW and on the viewers, I think it made more sense to have him go the heel route. You can catch more flies with honey that way. You know the expression, right? So I think it's a really good move that they did it like that. And I'm all fine for Okada being with the Elite, being with the Bucks, especially when you look at the fact that Kenny Omega has unceremoniously been dismissed from the Elite, and you just know that somewhere down the road, Omega is going to be coming back, and right, they all are going to pick up right where. Okay, so that's something to look forward to. Right there. And then just the fact that also down the road, Omega and Okada, one-on-one, ooh, that is going to be money. That is going to be some serious money. I'm looking forward to that. So, Okada, I like, it's early. It's early. I will admit that. It's definitely early right now. But I like where things are and how it's starting off. I say, look, we're still in that honeymoon period. Let's see where it goes. But the chemistry, I am picking up kind of what some of the reports, if it's legit, that was being put out there and everything, as far as, these guys actually complement each other very well. I can, if those reports are true, I can pick up there's definitely something there. Let's continue to exploit that. I loved how Okada was picking on Alex Marvez and saying, hey, it's Matthew Jackson's birthday, so sing happy birthday, wish him a happy birthday. And Marvez is like, hey, happy birthday, Matthew. And Okada's like, no, wish him a happy birthday. Sing. Right? And, so he's fitting in that realm, I think, pretty well. The match itself, though, this six-man tag match, loved it. Loved it. Some good stuff. Fun to watch. Okada coming off as a natural, coming off very comfortable as a heel. Good stuff. Good stuff. Doesn't stop there. If you would have told me all in the span of the first hour, we'd get Okada, Mercedes Mone, Will Ospreay. If you would have said all this to me last year or 2 years ago, I wouldn't be able to wrap my brain around it. But that is all that we had got within the first hour. Really good stuff. Will Ospreay was out there basically hyping up his April 21st match against Bryan Danielson. That pretty much was it. It's like we got to have that in the back of our heads as it's a little bit over a month away. But hey, look, you got to make sure Will Ospreay is out there, right? Even if he's not wrestling, you got to make sure that he's out there, right? Because this is big business, right? It's all about big business. Hey, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Good stuff. Switchblade, Jay White taking on Darby Allin. The hits just keep on coming with this show, man. Good stuff. Jay White picking up the win almost at about the 15-minute mark. This was the Switchblade Jay White match that he needed because we've seen this guy in a little bit of a funk so far. Right? We've seen him in a lot of key moments where you're scratching your head, and if you are a Switchblade fan, you're going, not really liking the way that Switchblade is being booked here. What the hell? And notice the commentary tonight as they made it a very interesting point to bring up that with this win, Jay White was able to pick up tonight. This was his first singles win for 2024. And you're going, first of all, you're going, wait, really? And then second of all, you're going, okay, well, you know what? If this is how you're going to be going into the first quarter of 2024 by picking up a W over Darby Allin, who is fresh off of having a great match with the Icon Sting, retaining their AEW tag titles and all that, like, okay, this is definitely some good bragging rights and all that. There was a questionable spot that I wasn't a fan of towards the end of this match that just really left me shaking my head. Darby Allin goes to the top. He does this coffin drop, but Jay White manages to move just in time, and Darby Allin's spine had pretty much hit the corner of the side apron. And when I see that spot go down, I'm looking at the referee, and the referee at this point, it was Bryce Remsburg. And I couldn't help but yell at my damn television because I'm yelling at Bryce, yo, roll out of the ring. The very first thing you should be doing is rolling out of the ring, even if you know that, okay, this is the spot where Darby does XYZ, and then this is pretty much how we're going to send it home, right? I don't care if Darby Allin has done that particular spot 1,000 times. I don't give a damn if Darby Allin did that spot 50 times flawlessly in that ring hours before the show. I don't give a damn about any of that. When the spot goes down, you feel where I'm coming from? When the spot goes down, referee immediately roll out of the ring, check on your man, make sure they are okay. Then once you get that little hand clutch, give me an okay, hey, you good? Once you get the okay, then you go back in the ring, then you start doing the countdown. But the fact that this referee did not do that, it was just so ass backwards, and it just left me looking at the fine attention to detail in this case. I mean, obviously, when it was all said and done, at least the impression that we're left with is Darby Allin was okay because he was able to make it into the ring at the 9 count before Jay White instantly connected with the Blade Runner, and that pretty much was it. Jay White picking up the win. But still, when you see that spot go down, scary spot with that coffin drop onto that side apron. I mean, referees, I implore all you guys, you referees that are in AEW, or if you're a referee in WWE, just any referee out there, look at what went down tonight. Just look at that as a form of bad refereeing, because first and foremost, referees, your jobs are to make sure that the talents are all safe by all accounts. So look at that spot tonight and don't say to yourself, okay, after they do the spot, I'm just going to continue to count, because heaven forbid, and as I had alluded to earlier, yeah, okay, they've done that spot so many times, but there's always that one time. All it takes is just that one time where they're unlucky, unfortunately. Are you really going to just jump into count mode? And then what happens if they don't make it back into the ring in time? Then you have to throw the match out. Right? You got to go with an alternate finish. Not smart. Your priority is to make sure that you're checking on these men and women that's busting their asses for the fans, for the entertainment and all that. Your priority is to make sure that these guys are on point, help guide them throughout the match and everything. That was just a really bad spot. I did not like that. Just go back. If you haven't watched it, just go back when you have it on your DVR. You get a chance. Just watch it. He doesn't do anything to make sure. He waits until pretty much the match is over and done with to check on Darby and make sure that the man is okay and everything. Not a fan of that whatsoever. Great storytelling, though, that went down in here. Obviously, these two are going to be locking it up again. Before you could really sink in on what you had just saw between Darby and Jay White, we see post-match Jay White offering to extend a handshake to Darby. Darby was getting ready to go for it, but then Jay White just makes a gun gesture, and from there he gets assaulted. Badass Billy Gunn, the Acclaim, they come out. They're not really fans of what they're seeing. Badass Billy Gunn says to Jay White straight up, yo, this is BS. What's going on? Not a fan of this whatsoever. Turns his back. Jay White takes a chair shot to Billy Gunn. Bowens Caster, they realize what's going on, as they were trying to help Darby up the ramp, but they soon try to go into the ring. They get assaulted by the Gun Kids, Colton and Austin. So, here's what's so sad about all of this that had went down. First off, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, that's no more, obviously. But then the second part to that is this, and that's the fact that we had not really seen this stable on television that long. It's like we saw a couple of teasers here and there. We saw them involved in a couple of matches here and there, but it never really thrived. It never really blossomed the way we thought it was going to blossom. And that's very unfortunate, because when you had this stab in the back, if you will, right? When you had this turn tonight, it just fell so damn flat. And when you have these guys not really making enough television appearances, this whole faction itself, when you have it, barely making any type of momentum whatsoever, right? For those that want to say, oh, this was a great segment. Oh, man, this segment was fire. No, it was not. It was flat on, maybe for the hardcore AEW fan that never misses an episode, and they're that invested, and it's like ooh and ah. But to the general audience, I can only imagine it's, well, wait a minute here. I don't really understand why are they like, I don't get it. Did I miss something? What happened? Because the last few times I've seen this stable on television, which has been far and few, it seemed like everything was gravy. So no, for me, this was flat on many, many levels. Lionheart, Chris Jericho. I'm now calling him Leech Jericho. I'm saying Leech Jericho. Shout out if you know your X-Men characters, mutants and all that. You got that one character called Leech. No, Leech mean no harm. Leech don't mean any harm to nobody. Leech minding his own business. I call Chris Jericho Leech Jericho now because every time I turn around, no, Leech Jericho mean no harm. Leech Jericho just want to leech onto somebody that has good things going on. So fans cheer Jericho again. That's just how it comes off to me. I wish we could just get him away from Hook. Seriously, it's not needed. It's just not needed. Seriously, it's just not needed. But you know what? It is what it is. But it's just not needed. Anyway, Leech Jericho, Hook, teaming up to take on the team of, what was it, Gates of Agony? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Gates of Agony. Jericho, Hook, picking up the win via submission. Decent showing. Gates of Agony having a few moments, and I'm a big fan of that tag team. I don't think they get enough opportunities on AEW television for what it's worth. That's just me personally, but I'm a huge fan of that tag team. I'm hoping that in 2024, even bigger, bolder opportunities come for those guys. Jericho and Hook, despite what I'm saying about Jericho, they do seem to work well together. But as far as ongoing as a team, it's kind of one of those, let's just really see where this is going to go. Post-match, Jericho saying to Hook afterwards, he's still not quite sure that he has seen enough in Hook, so he really wants to push it to the limits, which is why next week in Canada, Jericho has requested a one-on-one match against Hook. I believe this will be for the FTW Championship. So we'll see how that plays out. And your main event match for the night. Oh, let's not forget, Kyle O'Reilly was in the house again. He still looks like he needs some rest. My man looks like he needs some rest. I mean, I remember when I was sick 2 weeks ago. I looked like I was knocking on heaven's door, okay? And now, you know, you look at me. I look pretty well rested, right? I look pretty calm and jubilant and all that. And I'm looking at Kyle O'Reilly, and Kyle O'Reilly looks like he just rolled out of the freaking bed. Oh, damn, man! I'm supposed to be doing some type of wrestling show. Right now. Oh, crap. I'm late. Oh, man. I guess I'll catch an Uber or a Lyft or something. Oh, man. I mean, he looks like he needs more rest. He really, really does. My man look like he needs more rest. But we find out that his first match is going to be going down on, I believe, this weekend's Collision. He will be facing the Cowboy, Brian Keith. That'll be his first one-on-one outing. So that should be a fun match. I said the Cowboy. I apologize. No, the Cowboy is Hangman Page. Brian Keith is the bounty hunter. Yeah, we got to make sure we get that right. He's the bounty hunter. He ain't dog, I tell you that. Main event match of the night, Willow Nightingale versus Rio. This was your main event match. Now, in case you guys are not aware, because I know some people are going to be hearing that, and they're going to say, Willow, Rio, that's your main event? Ha, 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 ha. What the hell is going on here? And I just want to make sure that I point this out. Like, I hate to remind people, and I kind of alluded to it on Monday night without mentioning it because I wanted to see how many people were actually going to pick up on it. And only one person went out of their way to comment and be like, hey, look, this is what's going on. But I didn't want to say that just out in the open because I wanted to see how many people were actually going to catch on to it and everything. You guys do realize it's Women's History Month, right? Usually some of your favorite promotions, even in video games, you name it, usually there is something commemorative that is going on, in regards to Women's History Month. So remember, for those of you that were here Monday night, I said we had 3 back-to-back women's matches on Monday Night Raw. And I said to you guys, hey, look, it'll be interesting to see what happens with those quarter numbers, the quarter segment breakdowns, as far as the plus gain of viewership for those respected segments. If they continue to gain viewership or did they lose? Because remember, we didn't get a men's match for about our first men's match. That didn't happen for almost 90 minutes. Okay. So I mentioned that, just kind of a friendly reminder for those of you that's like, wait a minute, why are we getting Willow versus Rio? Like, this makes no, part of it is a 2-parter. One, it's Women's History Month. And then the second part of that, okay, well, if the show opened up with Mercedes Mone, then surely it's going to end with Mercedes Mone, right? I love my girl Willow Nightingale. Longtime listeners know I am a huge fan of her work. Rio, she's growing on me. She has her moments and everything, but I gotta admit, this was not the match. Anybody that wants to, this is awesome, women's wrestling, I'm sorry, not sorry. This was not the match. This was not the match. This was not worthy. And look, really understand where I'm coming from. I'm just saying, as far as a women's match goes, you're going to close out your show with a women's match. Man, I'm all fine for that. But to have these people be in that position, I would have taken out Rio and I would have put somebody else in there. I love my girl Willow, but this was not it for her. For me personally, this was not it for her. I damn sure thought it was insulting that when this match was on, 2 minutes after the in-ring action begins, they go to a commercial break. And then when they come back, you're going, okay, well, even though we took that commercial break, surely we're just going to tack on maybe 5 extra minutes of an overrun. And, that's how we'll kind of make up for it and all. No. That's not what went down. I mean, that bad boy went off promptly at 10 as far as I knew. So, yeah, just, it is what it is on that match. Look, it wasn't a bad match. It was decent. I've done my fair share of Rampage reviews Friday nights over on the Full One Mania site, and this match felt more of that realm. This felt like you were watching a main event from Rampage. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, but when you're doing a live Dynamite, you're at the TD Garden, and we talking about big business. I would have preferred it if that would have been a match for the TBS Championship, or if anything, maybe Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo had a rematch for the AEW Women's Championship. I would have preferred that, but to just have these two go out there, very little build up to no build up whatsoever. Nah, man, just no. Lights go out. Julia Hart is standing by the ramp. Willow's ready. She's ready to pounce on that behind. Sky Blue attacks her from behind. It's a 2-on-1 beatdown. Fans are chanting CEO. They get what they wish. Mercedes Mone comes out there. Good stuff. Takes out Sky Blue.
with a right hand over on the ramp, goes in there face to face with Julia Hart, plants Hart with the money maker. Hey, Mercedes has been practicing real hard on that money maker. Oh my God. I remember social media was lighting her ass up. I can't remember the opponent, but there was one match that she did. I believe it was in New Japan, and she botched it. And I just remember everybody was having a field day on that joint. And I remember myself and a few other people, we were going, look, obviously this is a new move. She has obviously been practicing beforehand, because back then she was posting a lot of training videos and all that. So we knew offhand, okay, this is a new move she's trying to do and everything. Okay, all right, cool. And obviously it was one of those early rare occurrences where whoopsie, right? But man, that moneymaker on Julia Hart and the way Julia has, that was perfect. That was perfect. But as some of us were talking about in the Discord, yeah, if Mercedes ever gets into a one-on-one situation with a girl like Chris Statlander or with, say, a Willow Nightingale, she obviously is not going to be able to do that move. She's going to have to go down deep and pull out something else in her bag of tricks, obviously. But Willow Nightingale standing tall and strong with Mercedes Mone, leaving her in the ring afterwards, showing and pretty much like that. So you began with Mercedes Mone and the chant, and you ended with Mercedes Mone and the chant. So look, when it's all said and done, AEW, Tony Khan and crew, they should be very proud of themselves for the show that they put on tonight. I am not going to lie to you guys. This was one of the far better executed, produced shows that I've seen, television shows that I have seen AEW put out in quite some time. This was a great utilization of the 2 hours. From the moment that you heard what the main event match was going to be, you're going, okay, so how because we know Tony Khan doesn't like that traditional, okay, we're going to go this route, this route, this route, this route. You know, to use a food analogy, you know, the way Tony Khan does things, it's we're going to bring out the desserts first, then we're going to follow it up with the main entrees, then we're going to follow it up with the drinks, then we're going to follow it up with the appetizers, and then we're going to end it with the veggies, right? Most people don't like the veggies, but the way Tony Khan, this show felt very important from top to bottom and everything. I was ready for one other surprise from tonight's show. I thought maybe we were going to see something else, but Tony Khan was very sure to the point of, no, we want this centered around just this one individual as far as our big signing and everything. But everything else tonight I felt was a home run, with the exception of the tag match between Gates of Agony, Lion Hook, and then the main event match between Willow and Rio. Not a bad match, but just for Rampage standards, solid match, no doubt, solid match, but could have went in a different direction there. I personally feel, but they should be very proud of themselves. This was a really good show. Great win for the company. The fact that they were able to acquire the services of Mercedes Mone. You know, it does feel like we're in different times right now. With AEW, it feels like, for the most part, on a more positive tip, that AEW's better days, it's beginning now, but there's even more better days ahead. I really enjoyed this. This was a really fun show. I cannot stress it enough. Kudos to Tony Khan and crew. Felt like a huge deal, especially that first hour, almost first 90 minutes and everything. That's where the show was, I felt, at its strongest, making a big deal out of Mercedes Mone coming in there, right? I can't wait to see how the ratings does overall. I can't wait to see how that goes down, because obviously it's going to be okay with everything that went down with Big Business, with everything that went down with Mercedes Mone. Is all that going to be enough to garner a very strong viewership compared to last week? Because, if it's not at least over 900,000 plus in viewership to slightly over 1 million, is it safe to say that Big Business was a failure? Is it safe to say that, hey, it just goes to show you it's not all about Mercedes Mone? It's legit. It's a serious question to ask. It really is a serious question to ask. All right, so that's that. Let's see what you guys had to say in the polls. I'm definitely curious. I want to know what you guys had to say about tonight's show. So, Twitter at the RCWR Show, or now known as X. And then we've got YouTube, youtube.com/the RCWR Show. Click on the communities tab and vote that way. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Over on X, I am seeing 29% of you felt that AEW Dynamite for March 13th, 2024, AEW Big Business, was a middle-of-the-road show. Meanwhile, 71% of you are giving it a thumbs up. Appreciate you guys that have voted. Meanwhile, over on X, 14% of you gave it a thumbs down, while 29% of you are staying in the middle. Top dog right now, 57% of you gave the show a thumbs up. If you haven't voted, keep those votes coming in. Appreciate all of you for voting and letting your voices be heard. So that's that. And then in some other wrestling-related news, entertainment news that we could talk about while we're still on the air here. And you guys got to forgive me, but if you did not check out the Monday night show, I had said that for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing some pretty short, condensed shows until I can really, just my way of getting my feet wet and at the same time getting myself into regular rotation of a habit. Because when I was out for those 2 weeks, I mean, it really, really had took a lot out of me, not just mentally when I was sick, but physically as well. Again, we did the Monday night show, but there was a 40-minute companion piece episode that was put out prior. I went over everything that's going on with my health and some stuff that's going on with the family. Now, in a health update in regards to my father-in-law, Pops is doing a little bit better. He's got stronger vital signs. His vitamin B level or whatever, that is extremely low. They did do the blood transfusion and all that. They wanted to get him strong enough to a point where they could maybe test out his bone marrow. And anybody that knows a thing or two about having your bone marrow tested, that is painfully, that procedure, what all they do, it hurts like a mofo. And so that was something that Pops did not want to do. So it's a case where, okay, well, you know what? Look, your vital signs, they seem to be improving. The blood transfusion, that helped. I know there was great iron deficiency and all of that. Everything is continuing to go up. So they're hoping that by continuing to hold him for observation, everything continues to go up. So as long as all the vitals continue to go up, then he should be out before this weekend. So, matter of fact, hang on a second. because I'm asking the wifey right now, has he been discharged? Has he been discharged yet? So, but I don't think he has been yet. But that's what's all going on with him. He seems to be in much better spirits, more alert, more aware of his surroundings, and everything. And she just texted me back. She said, no, he hasn't been discharged yet. What's the update? And I'm just asking her. I'm not going to tell you what she said, but unless it's something new, but the update should still be the same. So for those that, had reached out, and I appreciate you guys and everything. Hey, entertainment news-wise, Jesus Christ. So let me see if I got this straight, because what a crazy week it has been. Rehab. I knew I forgot something. Rehab. Yeah, he's got low levels on everything. Father-in-law, he's got low levels in everything. Rehab after his stay at the hospital, as right now he can't walk. He cannot walk right now. So that's the very latest. So and when I told you guys, when the person had found my father-in-law, he was on his knees at a bus stop. He was crawling on all fours. That's how weak he was. So, and they said his legs were very, very, very small and all of that. So, yeah, he's going to be doing rehab, intense rehab for the next couple of weeks, it looks like. So, please keep your fingers crossed, keep my family in your thoughts and prayers. I greatly appreciate that. Lighten up the mood a little bit. Okay, so let me see if I got this straight, entertainment news-wise. So, Batman has been pushed back. Batman 2, Matt Reeves, all that's been pushed back. It looks like that is now going to be released in 2026 instead of 2025. When I first heard that news, I'm going, Jesus, well, you know what? Okay, I'm all fine for it, because if it essentially means that, this gives them more time to finalize the script, get it exactly where it needs to be, and all of that, you know what? I'm fine with that. If that is the impact of the writers' actors strike, that Batman 2 has been delayed until 2026, then you know what? I'm okay for it. Let's not forget, Robert Pattinson, he's got a 3-picture deal for Batman. He's only going to be appearing as Batman 3 times in 3 full-length films on the Cape Crusader. So, and he's still a relatively young man. So, hey, it's been delayed. I'm okay with that. I care more about quality. You know me, if you've been listening to the show for a long time, I always say quality over quantity. That wins every day of the week. Meanwhile, Neve Campbell, she's going to be returning for Scream 7. That's got a lot of the OG fans pretty happy, so that's good. And then we've got the X-Men 97 creator, showrunner, producer. This guy pretty much gets fired at the last goddamn minute. He actually was supposed to be doing the red carpet tonight, because remember, it's premiering on Disney Plus next week. And so, this is just unprecedented, because understand something, and I have followed the entertainment industry for a long, long time. I've done my share of interviewing folks, and to the point I've actually got some stuff in the pipeline. Just keep your fingers crossed. We're going to be doing a lot more venturing into that realm and everything. But this type of stuff, turnovers, it happens all the time. Showrunners exiting, executive producers, writers flipping. I know with Sylvester Stallone's new hit series, Tulsa King, I know the showrunner had decided, okay, you know what, I just want out. If I can't tell the type of stories I want to tell, then you know what, forget this. But even though he stepped down as showrunner, apparently Stallone and them, they liked this guy's work so much that they asked him, look, could you still stay on board as our writer? We just won't have a new showrunner. We won't even replace you, but we definitely want you to still stay on board as one of the writers. And he's like, okay, all right, sure, right? So this type of stuff, it happens all the time, but it's never happened on the level like this where you've got your showrunner and creator who is supposed to be participating on the red carpet for this. And shout out to, I think it's Jeremy Lambert of 41 Mania. I think he was out there for the red carpet premiere tonight. It's like, how do you get out of, and there's a lot of speculation that's going on about the X-Men creator, the X-Men 97 creator. You've got some stuff being put out there about his OnlyFans account. And it's like, let's burst that bubble right now. That guy had that going on for over 2 years. If it was really a big deal with Marvel Studios, Disney, trust me, he wouldn't have even been able to touch X-Men in the first place, and a couple of other projects as well. Because remember, he was also one of the writers for Moon Knight, which got picked up for a second season and everything. So it's like, scratch that whole stuff about OnlyFans, and then not to mention the type of content that he was offering on OnlyFans. Allegedly, it was not sexually explicit content. I repeat, it was not sexually explicit content. I know that upon being fired by Marvel, Disney, and all that, basically this guy obliterated his social media accounts. I mean, he pretty much ghosted himself. So usually when something like that goes down, you're looking at that and, you hate to speculate, because I know a lot of people, but that's the thing. A lot of people, they like to speculate. They like to try to figure out, okay, what happened here? Why do they think XYZ happened with this individual? I know that there was some loose talk on social media that he revealed something, I guess, about, what was it? Was it about the Sunspot character that had a lot of people upset? I know Morph was something that sparked a lot of controversy, but there was something else. There was another character that had, wait, what? There was also this report going around that allegedly some of the OG voice actors, they basically had to re-audition for the roles that they made famous, that they made popular back in the day. They had to re-audition, and some of the OG voice actors, they were not fans of that. Some of the people associated in executive positions at Marvel, they were not fans of that, because this is pretty much that day and age where, well, we got to make sure that we have a nice wide range variety of race and sexual orientation for our voice actors behind the scenes. And rather than, okay, you know what, you nailed the role perfectly, you got the voice down, that's the type of emotion we're looking for, that's the type of dictation we're looking for, you've got the job, you're hired, like, come on, sign, let's go, let's do this already. No. So you've got a whole lot of stuff that's going on here. DeMayo is the guy's name. Yeah. Disney higher-ups allegedly were said to be furious that DeMayo revealed Morph's non-binary identity in pre-release interviews, and it has skewed conversation towards negative opinions based on a minor aspect of the show and runs parallel to their retro advertising. If that is true, I can understand that within reason. DeMayo reinstating his Twitter /X account, quietly also allegedly went against Disney's wishes that he steer clear of the platform after the disastrous way he handled the the discourse surrounding Sunspot's voice actor leak. And then, of course, the stuff about the voice actors, the OG voice actors, having to re-audition for the roles. I mean, so there's like so much speculation that's going on. A lot of people are trying to make sense about, you know, what exactly happened and everything. If I were to speculate, having worked with friends and have family members that work in HR and all that type of stuff, when something like this goes down, where somebody is fired before a red carpet premiere, before the series premiere or season premiere, whatever you want to call it, of a series a week prior, when you have all this type of stuff go down, and then the social media accounts in question, they just disappear, but then maybe one of them comes back or whatever. I believe, this is my personal opinion, I believe that something from this man's past had resurfaced. I don't mean no James Gunn type of situation, right? We all know about that. I don't mean like a James Gunn situation, but yeah, I don't want to say it out loud, because the last thing I want to do is have somebody pick up on that and then start spreading that as fact, right? But you all are smart. You all are an older bunch of folks that's out there. I mean, you put two and two together. I think you kind of really read in between the lines of what I'm talking about here, right? But I think something troubling. I think it was even beyond all this stuff, you know, all this stuff that I just read to you guys. You know, even if that holds some type of weight to it, I don't think that all collectively would be enough to just go, all right, let's just dismiss this guy, because this is really a freaking headache and we don't need this type of headache. I know one thing: you don't want an individual to be more over than the product / brand that you're trying to put over. I know that much for sure. So you could also respectfully make an argument that, the clout, right? Things are just getting a little bit too big, too swollen with this guy. You know, is it about X-Men 97 or is it about this guy? Let's really steer the conversation in the right direction that it needs to go, which is about this animated series right here. You know, but I kind of feel that something from this guy's past had came to surface, and I think that, and just the totality of everything else, but the thing from the past, I think that would be the icing on the cake that just said, okay, we got to be done with this guy. And the fact that he has not commented yet on what all had went down, you know, you don't want, for that level of scrutiny, for that level of concerns, of speculation, you know, you want to squash it like as quick as humanly possible. Now, you can make an argument that, you know, well, hey man, maybe he's just really hurt right now, and I can totally understand that, because you could tell by checking out all the stuff that he was posting online, a few interviews that he had gave. X-Men 97, this is something that he was very, very passionate about. He identified with the original series from back in the day, so this meant a lot to him. And the fact that he was able to get a lot of groundwork done, not just on the first season, but the second season, he was able to pretty much get the storyboard for that in the books and everything. You know, I think any one of us in that position, if we got, you know, let go, a lot of us would probably go rogue too on the social media and all that. So, you know, Your guess is as good as mine, but if I were to jump out there and speculate, I just kind of feel like it's a totality thing, but something from his past, I think, resurfaced, and that just pretty much, no matter how small or, oh, that's just total BS, I think was just, yeah, that's just too much. But put that individual to the side for a second. Let's really put the focus where the focus needs to be, which is on the animated series. And as I had said on social media, not sure what's going on with this guy, right? But, yo, there we go with these stupid-ass Facebook messages. Hang on, guys. We got a bogus Facebook joint. Last warning. Remember I was telling you guys a couple of weeks ago, we got these bogus people that's running around. Last warning, your Facebook page is at risk of permanent deletion. We have received a report from your, and this is fake as, like, don't fall for it, because, like, when you click on it and all that other crap, it's nothing but freaking Trojans and viruses, the whole 9 yards. So don't freaking fall for it. Hang on a second here. Can't stand that crap. All right, so we are going to delete that right now. Hang on here. We're going to delete that. And boom, deleted. And then let's look at the person's. Yeah, and in this case, it's a Vietnamese person with no profile information, nothing going on. Like I said, it's ridiculous. Because when you first see stuff like that, you're like, wait a minute. What the hell is going on here? But then when you further inspect, you're like, oh, they're trolling. Oh, okay. You know, they're trying to pass along some type of virus. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you. But anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah, like I said on social media, I said, look, you know, that sucks what happened to that guy, but let's really put the focus where it needs to be, which is on the animated series and how much it lives up to the original series. That's what we really need to be focusing on and everything. And I cannot wait to see this series next week. I'm very ecstatic. I've been watching X-Men all this week. Right now, I am on the 4th season. I just finished the episode where Storm and Wolverine, they had to put their differences to the side to work with Omega Red. So it's been fun going back down memory lane, rewatching the old episodes in anticipation of the new Revival series, especially because between the 4th season and 5th season of the original run, there's a lot of episodes that I actually had missed. I do remember, though, when the animation had changed for like the final 5 or 6 episodes of the final season. And I just remember, even way back then in real time, I just remember going, what the hell is this? This animation sucks and all that. So I can't wait to see how this reboot does. It looks very promising. It looks very, very promising. So I'm going to have me a nice big bowl of cereal, and I'm going to be watching. I can't wait. I can't wait. Tell me, can't wait. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Other than that, as far as some other wrestling news, headlines that's been going on since last was on the air with you guys, I got some WrestleCon news for you guys. For those of you that are going to be taking part in WrestleCon, in case you missed it, it was just announced that the Icon Sting, he's going to be taking part in a Q&A session next month. It looks like this will be featuring Tony Schiavone. So I guess Tony Schiavone is going to be the moderator for that. It's going to be going down Thursday, April 4th, 11 p.m. to midnight. Superfan attendees for WrestleCon will be able to attend the event. It'll also be open to attendees while space permits. So I don't know. That is, I don't know. I might actually go to that. I'm going to talk with the missus and see if that's something she might be interested in, because a trip to Philly That's like about, for us, that's like about maybe 3 hours. I would be very interested, for Sting. I would do that. I would definitely do that. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. But originally, I was looking at WrestleMania tickets. I was even looking at the Hall of Fame ceremony, the SmackDown joint. I was even looking at those. And I had said, nah, I'm good. But WrestleCon, I could see myself maybe going to WrestleCon, staying up in Philly for a day. But see, here's the thing. Here's where things get a little bit tricky. And that is my oldest dog. She is in her 90s. Like in human years now, she is in her 90s. And she's got very bad arthritis, especially in the back legs. She is taking 2 different types of medicine. One is for her heart, and one is to keep liquid fluids from building up in her lungs and all that. So, it would be a case where I know the other 2 girls, because they're still very, very young. I mean, hell, one is still a puppy. I think now she's officially 6 months. The other one is 2 years old. They would be fine. But the oldest one, that's where things get, a little bit. I don't know if I really want to be leaving her alone. It'd be one thing for a couple of hours, but to do something overnight, that's where I'm a little bit. Now, I tell you what, if WrestleCon goes, we're going to have that Q&A with Sting, we're going to have that actually be available on Fight TV, well, then you know what? That eliminates my whole situation altogether. I can just be like, I'll just watch it on Fight TV. I'm good to go. We'll see what happens with that. But I'm curious, what's the ticket prices for that? Let's actually look at that. Because now that I'm looking at this, I want to know what's going on with the ticket prices. So hang on a second. WrestleCade. I want to look up the ticket prices. Because I'm sure now that you guys have heard that, you guys are probably like, how much is that? Let's see. I'm looking. Schedule of events. Nah, that's not what we want. We want, I guess you want tickets, right? Let's go to tickets and let's see what's going on here. All right, buy tickets. See, am I looking at this right? Hang on. Live meet and greets. Question. Yeah, I'm looking at it right. Okay, so let's say buy tickets. Wow, are you serious? Okay. So the 3-day weekend pass, row 1, sections F through I includes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's all sold out. However, the 3-day weekend pass for... Hang on. Am I looking at the right thing, guys? This looks like something... Hang on. So it looks like tickets are available. I'm seeing anywhere between $170... No, wait a minute. General admission, I'm seeing $99 for a 3-day. If you want a single day pass, looks like that's like maybe $25. Skip the line, VIP Express Pass, tack on an extra $50. Oh yeah, I knew I was looking at the wrong damn thing. Yeah, this is for something else. Hang on. Let me see here. Sting. Trying to give you guys the most accurate information here, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to pull it up. Yeah, this sucks. I wanted to pull it up for you guys. I'll tell you what, let me research that a little bit more. And the next time we're on the air, I'll definitely have that for those of you that are curious, because I was looking at something, I give you guys the wrong information. That's for an event that's going to be happening November of this year. Yeah, not that one. We're talking about the one that's going to be happening in Philly in a couple of weeks. I know John Cena had recently did an interview where he pretty much had talked about 50 years of age. That's pretty much where he's drawing the line in the sand. Once he turns the big 5-0, as far as his wrestling career goes, that's pretty much it. He's going to be done. You know what? He's 46, getting ready to turn 47. So he's pretty much given that 3-year warning, so to speak. I respect that. I respect him for, you know what? That's actually a really good exit. I think that's a great time for him to officially bow out from wrestling, right? His wrestling career. Yeah, I mean, what more is there to do? Not to mention, you don't want to continue to whore yourself out there like a Ric Flair. No need to, you don't need to keep doing that. Whore yourself out there like a Hulkster, even if you can still go, even if you can still do it. Like, go out on, you know what? Go out like Hugh Jackman, even though he's coming back for Deadpool and all that. And I would imagine a couple more cool little special projects here and there. Go out on top. That's the main point that I'm making. Like, go out on top. Go out on your terms, but go out on top. So this gives WWE and them plenty of time to figure out a really good way. And honestly, I hope that one of the last times we see John Cena, it would be nice if we could see him and Randy Orton lock it up just one last time for old time's sake. Just put that final nail in that long historic rivalry. I would not mind seeing the two of them go at it one more time. That would be pretty cool. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I know Mark Henry had said something recently on the latest episode of Bustin' Open Radio where he would love to see AEW and WWE have some type of a working relationship going. He knows that WWE had said about a year and change ago that they would be open to it if the right situation presented itself. And he's saying, well, you know what? It seems like now is the perfect time. Now's the place. Why not do it? His whole thing is, let's see Dustin Rhodes, go Dust. Let's see him be a part of WrestleMania weekend. Have him be there, basically, for Cody Rhodes finishing the story. I like the idea of that. I really do. There's no buts. I'm with Mark Henry on that one. Put your money where your mouth is, WWE. The thing is, what would AEW get in exchange for letting Dustin Rhodes be part of WrestleMania weekend? What do you do there? Do you let it be a situation where, okay, they get Dustin, who could they get access to from the WWE roster that could make an appearance on AEW programming and, be it a squash match or like it would create, I think they should do it. First of all, I definitely think they should do it. But where things get a little bit in the weeds there, right? See, if I'm Tony Khan, maybe one of the things that I would maybe look into is, okay, we've got this long rivalry that's been going on here on the side of AEW between Christian Cage, Edge, Adam Copeland. Maybe we can access some WWE footage from these guys for a hype package video. Maybe we could, have that in exchange, or maybe we could interview some key WWE talents to talk about the rivalry, or right. You feel where I'm coming from? I think they will be able, 4 weeks now, we're talking less than 4 weeks, for something to materialize between AEW and WWE. I believe that they can get something done. I do believe it. But as far as, okay, this seems fair, this is equal, your guess is as good as mine as far as what they can do for that. WWE Hall of Fame. We got some more inductees that's going to be going in. Looks like Thunderbolt Patterson has been named to the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2024. Good stuff. I mean, they are picking some heavy hitting, they're picking some good names this year. I am loving this. Seriously, I am loving this, and I cannot wait to watch this ceremony from the Wells Fargo Center. It's going to be awesome. So we've got Thunderbolt. So he's joining Paul Heyman, Bull Nakano, and then let's not also forget we got the U.S. Express, two-time WWF Tag Champions, and then Muhammad Ali is going to be going in, basically the celebrity guest wing. I mean, this is stacking up to be pretty damn good. I can't wait to see who's going to be inducting who. I know as far as Paul Heyman goes, I know a lot of people are saying, yo, CM Punk. CM Punk would be, hands down, for sure. CM Punk, hands down. Bull Nakano, that's an interesting one because it could potentially be Medusa. It could very well be Medusa. It could potentially be Asuka. Highly unlikely, but you don't want to sleep on that name, but it could definitely be her as well. But I think I might be onto something there with Medusa. Then, of course, Thunderbolt Patterson. Remember, he's recognized as having won 2 championships across North America for you history buffs out there. So the celebrity wing for Muhammad Ali, that one, you know what? I think his family is just going to go ahead and accept that on his behalf. You know what? His daughter has a great TV presence and all that. You all remember her. She had, a couple of years back, she was involved in that new American Gladiators reboot, if I remember right. Didn't that involve The Rock too? I think that involved The Rock. I'm not really sure. But I could see her, Layla Ali, I could see her accepting the award on her father's behalf. I could definitely see that happening. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that's looking pretty good. And then other than that, I think that's it. Let's stick a fork in it. Let's call this episode D-O-N-E done. We are now at about the 1 hour, 27-minute mark. Like I said, I'm still in recovery mode, but I want to just slowly but surely get back into the groove of things, doing the shows on the regular again until I'm fully back at full strength. I mean, viral code wise and all that, I'm good. Like, that's all. But I've been doing a little bit of physical therapy myself because I've just physically been out of it for so long. Tomorrow's actually going to be my first full day returning to work for both of my jobs. So I'm very curious how I'm going to be holding up. I'm hoping that with the rehab that I've been doing and medication that I've been given for my back, that I'll be okay, because for the next little bit, doctor wants me to take it easy and make sure that I sit down as much as possible for the first couple of weeks until I'm really back into the groove of things. So we shall see how it all plays out. But in the meantime, Be Kind Rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, especially wherever you get your podcast. Best part, we now have the podcast RSS feed now linked to the YouTube channel, so you guys can experience the audio versions of the show, a completely different experience compared to the webcast versions of the show that you guys normally check out. We make that be available for you all. Also, want to give a shout out to our sponsors, great sponsors that we are very privileged to be working with. Shout out to ShopTotallyT-shirt.com. Whether you have a sports team, company, or charitable event and need custom t-shirts, hats, or hoodies, ShopTotallyT-shirt.com can help. They have the best and high-quality items at great affordable prices with top-notch customer service. ShopTotallyT-shirt.com. We are also brought to you in part by MercSaver.com. Unbeatable deals on items 99 cents or less. And the best part, when you shop at MercSaver.com, if you buy anything $15 or more on the site, you get free shipping. Check them out, MercSaver.com. Again, unbeatable deals on items 99 cents or less. They are adding new items to their website daily. We appreciate them for being a sponsor of the show. Last but not least, we're brought to you in part by the good folks at doback.com. If you're looking for the perfect gift for him, her, or for the kids, doback.com has you covered with deep discounts. I am talking cashback offers, coupons, get rewards. I mean, they got the whole 9 yards. We got discounts, we got coupons, cashback offers. It could be anywhere from 20%, 30%, 40%. Man, there's even some for 80% off. So check them out, doback.com. Appreciate all of these great sponsors that we're working with. Appreciate you all, the listeners. Appreciate fans of the show, friends of the show as well. Shout out to Julian Cannon of Digiday and the Nocturnal. I cannot wait. I got to pick his brain because I saw the news earlier today about the fact that 50 Cent, executive producer of Power, all the Power shows on the Stars Network, BMF as well, he gave the news that they're going to be working on a new Power spinoff. It's going to be called Power Origins, and this one is going to be dealing with a young, I guess a teenage Tommy and a teenage Ghost. And I'm hearing that, I'm going, wait a minute. Like, I guess I'm not excited about that because it's like, the only way I think this can really, really work, I have no doubt the casting would be perfect. But the only way that this is really going to work is if you do it in a way where, for those of you that watch BMF, you know how each episode you have an older Meech or an older Terry that's doing the narration. And they're setting it up for you. If they could get Joseph Sikora and Omori Hardwick to do Tommy and Ghost respectfully for each episode, do the narration, present it that way, have a BMF narration type of style to it meets Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci narration in Casino. If they could combine the two elements like that of storytelling for this new series, I think that would be a very fresh, unique approach, without a doubt. If you could somehow do it in a way where certain elements of the past affects the present Power universe, especially if like maybe you're going to ultimately set it up for Omari Hardwick to come back to Power. And I tell you what, if you're able to get Omari to do the narration for this Power Origin show, if you're able to throw that olive branch out there, then that is a bona fide, you know what, it's just a matter of time before maybe we do see him resurface in Force, or maybe in what's the name of Tyreek's joint? I think his joint is just Ghost, right? Yeah, Ghost. Either you have Omari resurface in Force or you have him resurface in Ghost, but I think it all just depends exactly how they go about telling the stories for that series. So, but I'm curious to know what Julian thinks about that. I would imagine as soon as he heard that news, he's already typing up a story and all of that. Follow your man on X, also on Facebook, YouTube. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. And until next go around, my pretty babies, wishing all of you all to be safe, Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Adios, y'all. Take care.